Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today's review is on the Transformers Cyberverse Deluxe class Optimus Prime. More specifically, the Bumblebee Adventures Build-A-Figure Deluxe class Optimus Prime, which means that he comes with the left hand of McAdam. For those of you who are wondering, put him off to the side. So yes, here's Optimus Prime in his iconic truck mode. At least in his stylized Cyberverse truck mode, and it looks pretty good. But actually, I'm digging this. What do you think? I'm not the biggest fan of this sort of jutting out. I think that's a bit too wide, like it sticks out a bit too much for my liking. But other than that, it looks pretty cool. It's a pretty decent little truck mode. Very nice, very nice. He comes with some accessories besides the hand. He comes with his ion blaster, in which you can store on his truck mode by putting this little notch into this notch. Just notching it there. And boom. This is how you would store it in vehicle mode. And he also comes with this effect part, which can be separated into two separate effect parts. Let's just recombine it again. And to store this in vehicle mode, you kind of plug it in back here. And I'm assuming this is supposed to simulate like a boosting effect when he's driving. I'm just gonna assume that's what that's supposed to be. Although I think if you put a fire effect part, it would look a lot better than this thing. This is cool, but it's one of those things where it doesn't really fit being a booster of anything. So let me take the accessories and put them away. And as you can see, he does roll quite well with 6 rolly wheels. And that's about it for his vehicle mode. It's, an Optimus Prime truck mode. There's really nothing more there's not too much to say. But this is a very cool design. Very stylized. I dig it. So, on to transformation. First things first, you flip out these panels, like so. And then, I think you flip these down. Oh, no, not yet. I mean, you could, but not yet. I think the next step was to fold. Forget it. You just pull these down then. You sort of separate this, angle this to sort of separate it there. And then you bring out his arms and bring them forward. And you flip out the fists, fold this down, flip out the fist, fold this down. And his arms are more or less ready. So this is one of those cases where the upper body's pretty much done. So we might as well finish it off. Come up here. Flip that piece up. And then flip out the Optimus head, which is cool. And then for this part, you fold these pieces in. These pieces in. Bring this assembly, just like so. And then rotate. Very carefully rotate forward. And then you separate here, flip forward the feet, and here we have Optimus Prime. A pretty straightforward transformation. It's fun and satisfying, which is nice. And he looks really cool. He looks like Optimus Prime. He looks like an stylized animated Optimus Prime. So I'm assuming he looks pretty close. He looks fairly close to how he does in the show. Again, I have not seen the show, and I have no real plans to see it anytime soon. Yeah, not to knock the show. The show's probably great, but I don't know. I just don't really feel like watching it now. So yeah, maybe I'll watch it one day. No promises. So yeah, Optimus Prime. And he looks pretty good. No complaints. This is a very solid looking Prime. Let's get a closer look at that head sculpt. And it looks very nice. And the eyes are indeed painted, which I never noticed that before. So since we're here, head is on at least on mine, a very stiff ball joint. But it is on a ball joint. Arms are on ball joints. And they have an extra hinge that go further back. But that's more for transformation, but he has it. There's this little piece here, which is interesting. Arms can go out that far. 360 gets on a ball joint. Swivel there at the upper, like at the shoulder. Bend at the elbow. And the fists are actually on their own ball joint, so you have some wrist action, which is interesting. As you saw, there is a waist. So now he does have a waist swivel. Legs can go out that far. They're on a ball joint, so forward, back, swivel, and bend at the knee, and slight up and down, and ankle pivot. So he has quite a bit of articulation, and most of these deluxe figures pretty much do have pretty good, like excellent articulation. Like, I'm a really big fan of these Cyberverse Deluxe figures. They're very nice. And Optimus here is no exception. He's fantastic. And obviously he comes with his accessories, which are his Ion Blaster, which you can just store in the back like so. Like so, plain and simple. Or have him wield it like so. So he now has his can I say iconic? His iconic Ion Blaster. Although I feel that in the movie universe, his iconic weapon is his Energon blades. But we're not in the movie universe right now. This is Cyberverse. And the effect part, you can just, plug it in here. Like so. Pretty cool effect part. Or you can do something like this, where if you separate it, you have something like this. Then he holds this like a club. I don't know, just something else you can do. Now, Optimus here actually does have one more surprise, and I actually really like this effect that they did. And at the chest piece, because there's another place to really put this as a weapon. Because for some reason, I feel like in the show, I guess he does this. This version of Optimus has the Allspark, not the Allspark. Did I say the Allspark? No, the Matrix of Leadership. Let me just show you. The chest can open up. So you just crack open these hinges, and it reveals the Matrix of Leadership. And as you can see, it is painted in there nicely blue, which is nice. But it's also a peg port. You can plug in this blast. And this is apparently called I think they're called the Mega Matrix shot. So hold on. So essentially, if y'all know what I'm gonna mention, we have an Optimus Prime that can effectively do the what was it called? What's it called? I feel this might be a bit obscure for anybody who watches this. But has anybody ever seen the show The Guyver? Like, it's an old hyper-violent show, and a couple of like pretty okay movies. Oh, what was that called? That was like, he had a move, like the Guyver. I'm not gonna go into what the Guyver is. You can look that up on your own. But one of his ultimate attacks was that he would open up his chest cavity and fire some lasers out of there. I forgot what the move was called though. I think it was called the oh man, what was it called? Whatever, someone will probably fix that for him. So yeah, this is Optimus. This is what it reminds me of Optimus doing this. So now the Matrix of Leadership fires a laser out of it. It's a weapon, which is very interesting. And I'm wondering if he really does it in the show, because it's now the second figure I've seen that like shows this off. Still, it's a very cool detail. I think this alone is a cool enough detail that it opens up to reveal the Matrix. That's very cool. But the fact that it also fires out of it is honestly a nice bonus. Very cool. So yeah, overall, this is a very nice Optimus Prime. Yes, I understand there's a bunch of them, and you can say, oh, it's one of many, but this is a very, very nice Optimus Prime. And I think he is definitely worth getting. So, size comparisons. Here you have Ratchet, and we have Cliff Jumper. And I guess my same complaint carries over. I think this particular deluxe class is a bit puny for my liking. Not puny, but I feel like he's smaller than he needs to be. But thankfully, he makes up for it in all that articulation. My goodness, that's just a nice amount of articulation. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Deluxe Class Optimus Prime. And again, final verdict, awesome figure. Awesome figure, and very cool Optimus Prime. So yeah, and before signing off, here's my special person's Instagram. Please check it out. There's mine if you're curious, and there is, oh my goodness, it's falling out. And there's hers again, which is more important. So yeah, this is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out, and be safe.